Greetings and salutations, comic fan. This is Comic Book Hangover. It is a new week. There was a new batch of books that came out, although for me it was kind of a small week, but I did get a wonderful surprise in my pull box today. So just like I do every week, I'm going to talk about the books that I got last week and then share the books that I picked up this week, and hopefully we'll be able to, get some new fans, some new readers. But the first book that I want to talk about this week, because we're just gonna jump right into this, all right? So the first book that I want to talk about this week is the third and final issue of Good Boy. Or should I say the third and final issue of this volume of Good Boy. If everything works out, and as is teased at the end of this book, this is the end of volume 1, which means we're going to be getting more, something I hope. I know we're getting more of Bunny Mask, which was a great series if you haven't read it. If you like sort of more like a slower pace, sort of gritty mystery horror noir, definitely check out Bunny Mask. And plus, I've just got great art too. So when that comes back, I'm definitely going to be talking about that. But Good Boy, just like with the previous issues, it's sort of as it's been described, the opposite of John Wick. Where in John Wick, it's the guy's dog that gets killed, so he goes off on this massive revenge spree because of the death of his dog. In this one here, it's an anthropomorphic dog whose human dies, whose human gets killed. Now, they are hitmen, retired from the game, and some people didn't want them to be retired, so they put a hit on his owner, and through the entire run, he's working his way back to the person who put the hit on his owner, and this issue here hits the ground running. I mean, the last issue, it ended in kind of an action-packed cliffhanger. This one, it picks up from there, and it goes, and true to his word, he does get revenge for the death of his owner, for the death of his human, and it's pretty vicious. Once he really kicks into gear, it does not let up, and he does not let up until the issue is done. But overall, it's just a 3-issue miniseries from Source Point Press. A lot of fun, some great covers, and yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the John Wick movies, I would definitely recommend checking that one out. Good Boy, just 3 issues, well worth checking out. Next one, I mean, this series is just going to start getting bigger and bigger. This is Radiant Black. What issue are we on here? Issue 12. So we're 1 year into this. This issue is another one of those origin issues. We had an origin issue for, I think it was Radiant Red. This one is Radiant Pink and Radiant Yellow. Well, more Radiant Pink than Radiant Yellow, but he's in there as well. And I'm going to tell you, it's not like the other issues that we've had so far. Radiant Pink is this girl. She's a gamer. She's a streamer, which to me is, I mean, granted, and keeping in mind is what I'm doing here, but to me, the whole idea of watching people play video games is one of the most phenomenally boring things in the world. I don't understand it. Clearly, I'm not the target market for it. Clearly, it's not for me. Because I just don't understand it. I don't understand the appeal to it. My little boy does it all the time, and I just don't get it. But that's what she does, and she honestly feels like she's trying to keep everything together. Her real life and her streaming life are totally different. People have this view of her that's not realistic, and she's trying to live up to that, but she always feels like there's something more that she should be doing, that she could be doing, and she gets an opportunity when the Radiant Pink orb or black hole, whatever it is we're calling these things, is introduced into her life. So it actually was a really well done issue. It was kind of, for me, it was kind of boring because I'm not into the whole streaming, video gaming thing, but it did a great job explaining who this girl is, who Eva is, and kind of where she's coming from, and makes her a really fully formed character outside of her being a streamer, although that is a big part of it. And I'm really curious as to how her being a streamer is going to play into the whole Radiant universe, because I mean, she's pretty cool. I mean, it was all right. It was a good issue. A little, like I said, it's a lot different than the other stuff. There's really not a whole lot of action in it. It's more character development, which honestly we don't get a whole lot of in comic books anymore. It's more character deconstruction these days. But this was actual character development. She's a fully formed character, and I'm really curious to see where she's going to go from here. The next issue for Radiant, the whole Radiant Black thing, actually is not going to be Radiant Black number 13. It's going to be, what the heck is this book called? It's a one shot, and if you're a fan of Radiant Black, you need to keep an eye out for this. So one shot's coming out. I think it's out next week. It's called Supermassive. There's one of the covers for it, and it will expand the Radiant Black universe. So it's something major, something big. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited. And kind of keeping in the tone of Radiant Black, Mighty Morphin number 16, we're really just on cruise control towards the end of this Eltarian Wars. This issue here has some great, fantastic, amazing things in it. Actually, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, you know, all these colorful words aside, this was just a lot of fun. I'm still not used to Zordon's new or not Zordon, Zed. I'm not used to Zed's new origin. I'm not used to how it's tying in. It doesn't, you know, again, with an annual that came out a couple of years ago, it doesn't fit with that annual. But where he's going to be after this, I'm very curious. They did drop the name of Dark Spectre again. I know there's another series that Power Rangers Universe has, you know, more Dark Spectre stuff in it. So I'm assuming he's going to be coming, and we're going to get a huge introduction to this ultimate bad guy. But Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin, they've been a lot of fun, and it's been actually kind of cool. Where, you know, with this Eltarian War, since we have two different teams of Power Rangers. And when they're on their own, Mighty Morphin is the Earth-based team. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Power Rangers is the Omega Rangers, and they're out in space doing other things. It was cool to have this whole thing happen where we got these teams back together. We got to see Zach, Trini, and Jason interact with Kim and Tommy and Billy, and also the new Rangers that replaced them after they left the show originally. It's just been a lot of fun. It's been really great fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what ends. I think actually Power Rangers number 16 is when this whole Eltarian War thing ends. And I'm very much looking forward not only to seeing the ending of the storyline, but also what we're going to do afterwards, because they have teased that there's some major things coming. So now, before we get into this week's books, of course, if you like what I'm doing, if you enjoy my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, because I am working really hard in getting these done early so that these notifications will come in handy. But share the video and all that sort of fun stuff. I also want to mention last week, as I mentioned in my video, I was part of a sort of roundtable with the M6P. They are doing a new video series where they mostly primarily talk about the MCU, the movies. They're trying to, actually not trying, they're going back sort of to their roots, to the basics, and they're going to be doing a series of videos where they're going to be talking about the comic books, and not just current stuff, older stuff. The very first one that was done was Secret Wars, the original 1984 mini maxi series. I guess it was 12 issues, so it's a maxi series. And I was part of that. Now, unfortunately, because of my new internet connection, my portion of it wasn't the best. It definitely could have been better. I do have plans to make the next one, my next appearance on there, even better. And yes, I am planning on being there more as often as I can, because it's, you know, I've known, you know, and Jared and those other guys from the N6P for a while. You know, I've been friends with them for a while. I just feel like I should be more hands-on, I guess. It's something that I would like to be more involved in outside of what I'm doing here. And it's great for me to be able to talk about comic books. I miss being able to do that. So the link to that video is going to be in the description down below. So definitely feel free to check it out, comment, like, subscribe to them as well. But just letting you know, because of my internet connection, my part of it was I started actually watching it, and I'm sort of out of sync. You know, like the video and the audio is out of sync, and a lot of it is because of my internet connection. But definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast, and I can't wait to do another one with these guys. So that said, here are the books that I picked up this week. Starting with a returning favorite, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. I know they're calling her Ghost Spider now. To me, honestly, that's a stupid name. That's one of the dumbest names I could think of outside of, you know, Squirrel Girl and Moon Girl. But Ghost Spider's just dumb. I like that. I like when she was, the book was called Spider-Gwen, but inside the book, she was Spider-Woman. And that right there is a facsimile edition. Now, the facsimile editions, they are page-for-page reprints of the original book, including all the advertisements. So if you see something like this on eBay, and it's at a good price, look at it. One really quick indicator as to whether or not this is the actual is you want to look at the bottom here. Across the bottom, I think there was something else here, and the things down here at the bottom are different. So do some research. These facsimile editions, especially now that they started doing more modern books, it's confusing a lot of the newer fans, the newer readers and collectors coming in, thinking they're getting a great deal on an original print, but it's actually a facsimile. So do your research and ask. If you have any questions about that sort of stuff, ask. I mean, there's a lot of us comic book fans and family out here that we will be happy to help you out. I mean, I'm more than willing to help you out, and I'm not going to try to snipe you on it either if you have a question for me on something like that, because I already own it. I own the original. I have the facsimile. I'm happy with that. I don't need more. All right, so next one. This one came out a week or two ago, but I wasn't able to get the cover I wanted, and since I'm a stickler for that, I decided to hold off on getting it. That's Hellcop number 4. And I have actually officially added this to my pull list. It's fun. I can't wait to dive into that one and see what that one's all about. And we've got Power Rangers number 16. Supposed to be the ending of the Eltarian War. Can't wait to check that one out. And Silver Coin number 9. I love this cover. That kind of reminds me of a Gore Shriek cover. If anybody remembers Gore Shriek from back in the day, this is the kind of cover that they would probably have had back in those days. But Silver Coin number 9. And then the big surprise for me, this is a book that I ordered some time ago, and I have others on order, and I'm really excited about getting the rest of them. I'm a huge fan of EC Comics, as I'm sure I've mentioned here before over and over again. And they do these EC archives. And originally the EC archives, they were a sort of oversized hardcover, a $50 price tag. They're hard to get now, but they're really expensive. And I've always wanted to have a full run of the EC books in one form or another. But I just could not see plunking down $50 for a trade. But I think these are actually through, if they weren't before, yeah, these are through Dark Horse. This is volume 1 of the Tales from the Crypt EC Archives. This is the paperback edition, so it's softer, soft cover. The big selling point for me on this is a $20 book. So I'm getting the first 6 issues of Tales from the Crypt. Actually, it was Crypt of Terror first, as everybody knows. It's Crypt of Terror, and then it switched over after like 3 issues to Tales from the Crypt. And as you can see, we even have there's Crypt of Terror, Crypt of Terror, Crypt of Terror. Becomes Tales from the Crypt, but it has that weird logo to it, and it isn't until the 3rd full issue of Tales from the Crypt with the full title on there that we get the logo that we're used to. Now this also kind of threw me off because this cover looked off to me, and I couldn't figure out why, and it was because I'm used to it being this is the original cover, and this is actually the cover that they use on the hardcover EC Archives. And it's you see there's a red background on there. This is green, but it's cool. I mean, I love it. The colors are crisp. The paper is a heavier stock paper. Now I've read some online reviews where people were kind of complaining about the way the colors were on this. Let's pop that up there. Hopefully my camera will focus on it. Now for some reason I think it might be because of the paper that they're using. The drawings do look a little flat, but there were people that were saying things like, the hardcover EC Archives had better coloring. Now, I compared the two, and the coloring is exactly the same. So I think it might just be the paper, and people just aren't used to having an oversized EC reprint that's in sort of a paperback format, because they've always been hardcover. But I can't wait to read through it. I can't wait to get the rest of them and start putting them up on my bookshelf. I might even break down finally and start getting. They're doing all of them. They're doing Tales from Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear. I'm thinking they got crime suspense stories, shock suspense stories, but they're also doing the sci-fi ones, which I never really got into the sci-fi ones. But I think with these versions of the EC Archives, I might get into that. So hopefully in future videos, I'll be able to share as I'm getting more of these other EC Archives that I'm getting. And it's not just going to be Tales from Crypt. I think I have Vault of Horror number 1 and Haunt of Fear number 1 on order as well, I think. So hopefully those will be arriving at some point. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me for this week's video. I really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate your continued support. Please, again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, share the video, and click the link down below to check out the first M6P, talking about comic books. Again, we're talking about Secret Wars, the 1984 original. We cover a lot of ground on it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great group of guys, and I'm very much looking forward to doing it again. So other than that, everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you all very, very soon. Have a good one.